When you see these synchronocities and you're not awake or aware to them, hey guys, so I don't really post every single day on my Instagram. I do, however, do the Insta story, and I will post any synchronicities that I see. For instance, I just posted these on Twitter because this is just what happened today when I was paying attention. I was really busy today. When you see these synchronicities and you're not awake or aware to them, it's easy to miss them. As you start to wake up, you will see consistent numbers between numerology and sacred geometry. The numbers, synchronicities that you're seeing, whether it be on the clock, when you look at your phone, you look at the likes on a picture, when you look at how many followers you have, you will notice that there are synchronicities in the numbers. And I post my synchronicities on my Instagram story. It's just, I like that. I've always been drawn to numbers, and the more I see them, the more I like to post them. I guess it would be like the equivalent of people who post their food. And like the spiritual term, you know, spiritual realm of things. So like, oh God, we get it. We all see synchronicities, you know, but I've just always liked numbers. And it turns out, guys, that people have been asking what the synchronicities mean and why they're seeing them, and they're resonating with my profile and coming to me personally and sending me messages because they want to know. So I felt compelled to do just a quick video and just let you guys kind of know what's going on. When I first started awakening, I started seeing 10:10, 5:55, 2:22, and occasionally 11:11. I didn't see it all the time, but I would see 11:11 occasionally. Now I see it pretty often along those same numbers. 12:12's in there. Lots of zeros, you know, like it gets to the point where every time you'll look at numbers, you'll look at the clock and it'll be like 44 seconds, you know, 12 seconds, 22 seconds, or it'll be 4:44 and you'll look at the clock and it'll be 4:44 and you'll see it exactly at the 44-second mark of 4:44, so you just see a bunch of fours. And it happens like that, you know, and at first it really trips you out. You're like, what the fuck, you know? And when you're seeing it in like the seconds like that, you don't have the ability to like pick it up and like take a picture of your, you know, with your phone and you know, do that type of thing. But you know, even when I'm looking at the time here, it's the same thing. So it really has a lot to do with connecting with the universe within and being on a frequency of being able to pick up that consciousness. And it starts when you're really living through your heart, being grateful for things. You kind of start to see the world like a kid would, you know? You're just like, oh wow, the trees are really green today. Cool. Yeah, you know, my nails, they're so glittery, they're so fun. You know, the things that are already kind of cool and fun to begin with just become way cooler, you know. The best analogy for this would be like, you know, when you're a kid and you pour like the root beer and you get all the foam. The bubbles are fun when you're a kid, right? You're like, yeah, bubbles. Yeah, I can eat them. You know, you eat the bubbles. I remember being a child, 6 or 7, and the neighbor kid wiping his finger on his nose and sticking his dirty finger into my amazing root beer bubbles, and I was like, why did you do that, you know? And he was like, oh well, I don't like to wait for the bubbles. And that's kind of a perfect analogy for how you, from what you go from to where you end up, you know. It's like a backwards cycle where normally people go into the adult world and they, you know, they don't want to wait in line and they don't want to wait for the fucking bubbles, they got shit to do. Where kids are like, I got 45 seconds to wait for some bubbles. Like, I love bubbles. Bubbles are awesome. We're watching the bubbles. You know, that's how kids are. And you find yourself kind of acting goofy as shit, 30 years old, and I'm dancing around my house naked, singing into my imaginary microphone badly, terribly, so terribly, so bad. And I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm in the country. I mean, the neighbors probably can't hear me. Well, like, then again, like, they might be able to. So you start to live kind of in that really goofy, oh, sorry, I'm like stepping on Siri with my microphone. She keeps like listening. It's freaking me out. Freaking me out. Anyway, for people who are already kind of spiritually awake, this is like a no-brainer for them, okay? So this video isn't for you guys. I feel like this is out of focus. Maybe my eyes are out of focus. This is out of focus, guys. Okay, anyways, so hate to break it to you guys, but this isn't for you. If you already know what synchronicities are, this video is definitely for the people that have just been like, hey, I'm seeing them. You know, like the very beginning stages of awakening. Well, I guess I could say I'm relatively far in my growth. Transmuting through energies relatively well. Today was the first day through the last 2 months that I had any actual physical pain where I wanted to die. Considered going to the hospital. Okay, I knew I wasn't gonna go to the hospital, but it was comparable pain to like the ER could pump me with drugs right now and this wouldn't hurt anymore. It was terrible. Today was really rough. It was quite a growing day, but we are going through some crazy energies right now. It actually kind of surprises me to people that are awakened and aware of things, and you'll see them being like, I don't know why I'm so crazy. Let me just remind all of you, like, these energies are the Mercury retrogrades up until the 27th, where it's the 19th right now. So Mercury's chilling right now. We've got other planets in retrograde, and we need to remember that with every moon cycle, we're gonna change, you know, our charts are going to respond differently than the person next to us. For those of you who are like, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm just so rah today, like, what I've found is the days that we are in physical pain, like can't get out of bed, what feels like a really normal human day is actually like a gray day where we're clearing out a lot of old energies. And we got to remember that we're like a generation where we're clearing out energies that aren't just ours, but these are like ancestral energies that have been passed down through the lineage. So when we're going through these growing pains, basically, we just need to stay mindful in that tomorrow's probably going to be a bitchin' day, because I can't tell you of a day where I've had today where it was just so painful. Like today was a really painful day, and when I got out of bed finally, I mean, I was 3 hours laying in bed growing up for no reason, like pain, I wanted to die, very low abdominal pain, you know, like root chakra growing. And the one consistent thing that I'm seeing from anybody that I listen to keep myself stable and on the right path is that we're really going through some huge changes, and the root chakra is one of them that's really taking it. So if you're in any sort of pain, like, don't be freaked out. Don't think like how I was thinking, which was, oh my gosh, like I'm going backwards, like that's the only reason I could be feeling this way. No, it's actually a really good growth. It's right now we're purging a lot of really intense energy, so just stay focused and mindful. And I was talking to a friend tonight, and I realized that as, you know, energetics, spiritual, you know, conscious living humans, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, I don't like titles. I think we're all gonna get here at some point, but it's hard to address the collective for me, so maybe I should just say the collective, and we know the third dimensional beings. I was talking to him tonight, and I've realized that even with how consciously we're living, and I'm seeing this in him, which obviously says that I'm carrying it somewhere within myself, or I'm doing it as well, for me to be able to, you know, see this, that we have a tendency of getting very much into our heart, preaching, not meaning to, we do it, it's not our fault, you know, we get so passionate about what we're feeling in the heart chakra, and then, you know, as the other chakras clear, well, you know, the third chakra's chilling, and it's easy to voice how much love we're feeling, and it's easy for us to forget that we become like preachers. You know, we start like nagging at people, and we forget the density of that energy that they're in. And even though we were there, you know, being in the heart chakra, you don't hold that need to, you know, feel those lower densities. You've transmuted through it, and you're cool, like you get it, like, you know, you leave space for people that are there. But we also, and I'm seeing that I've seen this in him, and I've realized that I do it too, we also have the ability to really get into our ego once we get into our heart, because we know that it's the right way to live. And even though everyone will eventually get on that path of this like heart chakra living, not everybody is going to be there at our time. So he really kind of like pointed that out to me in what he was saying, because I then pointed that out to him, and I went, well, of course, you know, if I'm singing to you, I've got it to me, and da da da. And I just kind of wanted to point that out to everyone, to just kind of remember, like, it's really easy for us to know that this is the right way to live because we're in this frequency, but it's also really easy for us to fall back into our ego, and then judgment is ego's best friend, and start to judge others who aren't on our path yet. I've caught myself doing it a couple times. I just, you know, explained to my friend, like, hey, I want to point this out to you, so, you know, it's easy for us to do it, and that's why I'm just going to set that out there. That's there. I'm going to go back to Synchronocities. I did just look at the clock and see 13:13, and I just looked at this and it says 14:14. So yeah, Synchronocities happen a lot when you're awake and you're consciously living. And when I say consciously living, I mean, I wasn't somebody that went after spiders, but you know, if they were in my vicinity, they weren't anymore. They were compressed, or whatever was near me, and I'm not laughing at that. It's just that was very much how I lived. And now your girl's letting out like 9 spiders a day. One tried to like do some woody stuff while I was tinkling today. Like, how are you gonna attack a girl while she's on the toilet? Dude, that is just bad form. I'm sure his mother taught him better. But yeah, consciously living is like, you suddenly find yourself making decisions not just for yourself. I mean, in honor of yourself, yes. You know, being able to say no, 15. Being able to say no when something isn't right for your soul path, but it might be cool for Instagram. You know, like, you start to get into that. And when that happens, you're consciously living in your spirit, alright? And when you live in your spirit, I don't care who says what, I don't care how much money they have, I don't care what they do, I don't care how many Instagram followers they have, I really don't care about that. When you're consciously living in your spirit, your mind magically matches up with your soul, and then your body starts to align with that, because that is the healthy path, and you find yourself balancing the triad, mind, body, soul, 16. And when you balance that, you vibrate at a higher level. And once you vibrate at a higher level, you begin bringing things into your life, like synchronicities, your soul family, people that you can meet and you feel like you've known them your whole life and you've never met them in your entire life. That's your soul family, and those are the people you need to be around, because those people are not going to judge you for your darkness, because they've come through their darkness as well. And so if you're seeing synchronicities, 16, 17, every time I look at the fucking clock, I see a synchronicity. You're looking at clocks and seeing synchronicities. Be really mindful of who's around you, who's falling out of your life, and who has randomly appeared that seemingly seems like the universe like handpicked them for you, like this is your season of friend, like this is who you need to be with. Be mindful of that, because the synchronicities is just the first step of like 7 or 8 before you truly realize that you're in a conscious mindset of living, where you're no longer living in a mindset of lack. You're no longer looking at your bank account waiting for the numbers to go down. You're no longer even looking at your bank account like that. You just know there's money there. You know it's going to come. And people that are in a mindset of lack, that are in a self-sabotaging mindset, will watch these videos and go, this girl's high, she's insane, she already makes money, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay. 2012, I was homeless. Okay? Like, my dad died, I lost my shit, and I was homeless for a good year and a half, 2 years. And from the ashes, I built myself up. But I literally kept myself down by my own negative, self-sabotaging mindset. So I don't really give a shit if 9,000 people view this video and give it a thumbs down. If 4 people view this video and rearrange the way they think and suddenly change their lives and get themselves off the couch or off of whatever it is that they were using as a vice or a crutch to survive. We're not here to feel that way. If you're seeing synchronicities, start really paying attention to everything you're doing. Every choice you have has a karmic balance to it. This isn't like God's gonna smite you. If that's what you believe, sure. That's not my personal perspective on the world. I believe in karmic balance, and I believe that because it's been proven to me. You could say that I'm someone that needs to see facts for what they are, and the things that I believe and I back that a lot of people can't see for what they are, that just means that you haven't experienced them, but that no way means that it doesn't exist. So if there's someone that hasn't seen things but you believe them to be true, you go with your soul, listen to your soul, especially if you're seeing synchronicities. Your soul is speaking to you through those synchronicities. Alright guys, this is gonna be like a 7-minute video. We're at 20 minutes. Like, I can't not talk. Alright, you know what? You know what to do, fam. Namaslay.